another one that's been an interesting story this week, the fallout from the Supreme Court striking down affirmative action has continued. It's been a big national discussion, and it's been getting a little bit vicious, especially towards Asian Americans who have supported the Supreme Court's decision after Asian Wave Alliance President Yatin Chu tweeted, "I told my daughter that today is a big day. They've ended affirmative action. Isn't it what you've been fighting for?" she asked. I said yes. Former CNN host Soledad O'Brien tweeted back, "Congrats on screwing over other people of colour, ma'am, particularly those whose efforts in civil rights paved the way for your family to come to America." Look, this is a really important discussion for Asian Americans. I know many who've really welcomed this. What did you make of this kind of discourse around it?
Well, I think it's unfortunate that Asians have become some sort of target in this particular scenario. But I think the reality is that if America is supposed to learn from lessons of the past, any form of discrimination, even if it's minor situations like affirmative action, where they take into race as like a subcategory to getting a college acceptance, but any sort of discrimination based off of something you have no control over, like your race, like your gender or sex, that type of thing we are trying to stay away from. And leaving this within our laws and allowing it to happen is like leaving a relic from the past that we constantly criticize. So any form of discrimination allows for more discrimination to happen. It becomes a rationality for us to discriminate against someone because this form of discrimination is good. But I'm very resolute in believing that if we allow any form of discrimination to happen, one day it will come back to haunt you.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one thing at one point in time, and then it's another different criteria, and you're not fitting in the box in the next generation, and all of a sudden it's a different conversation, isn't it? So I think there's going to be long-term repercussions of that one, but certainly been an interesting discussion this week. Another topic, the California Reparations Task Force is asking the state government to look at child support as California moves towards paying reparations to Black residents as an apology for slavery. The task force, looking into how much needs to be paid, have said on the harms of American culture towards Black people is the disproportionate amount of African Americans who are burdened with child support debt. I mean, what do you make of this? Is it a disproportionate cost for African Americans versus the rest of the population?
Well, what's interesting, what's interesting about the report is that it gives the perception that they're asking for child support debt to be wiped away. And actually, to not necessarily be completely fair, but to be fair, what they're actually asking for is the debt of interest. So basically, if there is child support that's owed, they add interest on top of it. So what they're asking for is that interest to be wiped away, which is basically money that would have gone to the government. So whether you think that's something that that is minor in the grand scheme of things compared to what they were asking for before, where they basically wanted to bankrupt the state with actual cash dollars being sent out. It's a debate as to if this is something that would even be impactful. Is it necessary? I honestly think that the reparations package that they were sending out, coming from this committee, I think they were just trying to touch on any possible area, not just cash, but just find any minute area. Is it disproportionate? Yes, I guess it's disproportionate to the population, but I don't think that's an accurate way to assess much of anything. I think it said that it's like 18% in comparison to the population of 13% of the Black population. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to really think of it. Is it something that I'm going to lose sleep over if they were to go through? No, I wouldn't. Basically, they're just saying these particular people shouldn't give money towards the government for interest while they're already owe money on top of it. It makes it even harder for them to pay back that money. So I just wanted to give some sort of clarification because I think it's misappropriated.
Yeah, look, I do take your point. I guess that does go to enforcement though, doesn't it? If you're not paying the money back and you don't see the interest piling up, you're probably just going to leave it and ignore it. And so I guess there's that element to it as well, but certainly not perfect system. We are going to have to leave it there. But Adam Coleman, thank you so much for your time.